There we go. What's up, friends? I'm Zach Joachim with our good friend Robby Robinson here. This is On the Horn after VCU beat American 105-83.
I think that was a 22-point win. Yeah, triple digits.
And it felt like a get-right game, didn't it, a little bit? Which maybe it's like hyperbolic to say that they needed that right now. But Niagara was obviously kind of lackluster the other day. Did not play well for 3 quarters of that game, turned it on at the end. Everyone was disheartened by the New Mexico loss. What did you see that encouraged you tonight?
I thought I saw, in games like this, these non-conference games against opponents that we're favored by, the best 40-minute wire-to-wire stretch. They did not have that 10-0 run, that 8-1 run. American didn't. They would take what would be a 12-point lead and get it back to 4, and then everybody's all of a sudden frustrated. They're like, we should be running away with this. We didn't see that. They systematically continued to build the lead. It got up to 5 to 7. It was 13 at half. I don't remember it dropping to single digits after halftime. I go back and look. 17 to 18 to 25, and that's what you need, I think. And I think the team was motivated, Zach, by the fact that American has a pretty good pedigree. This is an NCAA tournament team.
7-4.
Yeah, 7-4.
They're like in the low 200s in Ken Palm. This was not a cakewalk.
No, this was not a team that you were going to beat no matter if you played your A game or your D+ game.
They could be good in the Patriot. That could be a pretty good win at the end of the year.
For sure, yeah. I mean, that could be a win against an NCAA tournament team. It'd be an automatic bid. It's not going to be a team that earns an at-large. I think it had their attention. I do think there's some residue left over on Coach Martelli getting on them about halftime. Did he talk to you about that?
Yeah, he did. We asked him after the Niagara game. We asked him about it in the post-game press conference, and we asked the players who was in the media availability. I think it was Brandon and Mike. Okay. Maybe after that game, or no, that might have been 2 before. But anyway, anyone we were talking to, they said they couldn't say what Phil told them at halftime because there was a lot of expletives in it. Obviously, he was trying to get them hyped up, and rightly so, because I think everyone in here was disappointed they were up 3 over Niagara at halftime, and this team is capable of so much better than that.
And you have that bullet only a certain amount of times to go in there and wear the paint off the walls. And
Phil doesn't seem like a guy who does that often.
Well, he said in our postgame, Zach, that he's done it 3 times now in his career. He's about once a year that he's going to do that. And so to make that decision about Niagara, again, that wasn't a turning point in the season, but he must have felt like it's time, coming off the New Mexico game, which there's some frustration with the team, that, hey, this needs to happen.
And the atmosphere here was subdued since then a little bit, right? Fans were disheartened by that loss.
That was a difficult loss. I mean, we don't like losing at home to anybody, much less a game like that. But since the halftime talk against Niagara, we've played 3 solid halves of basketball. I mean, at least 2.5, and so I think that did its job, and we saw that today. And again, Zach, I am amazed. 5 guys in double figures, 5, and then another 3 that were a bucket away from double figures themselves. Jordan Tillery hits a 3. He's in double figures. Was it Bell, another one that he hits a 3? He's in double figures.
Terrence Hill, game high 17. Hit 3 threes. Nick Lewis, 14. He was phenomenal tonight, wasn't he?
He continues to be phenomenal.
And Brandon Jennings, 10 points. Another just like vintage Brandon Jennings all-around performance where he did a little bit of everything.
Who are you going to prepare for? All right. You're saying Bonaventure, right? Let's assume that we go and take care of business with Ryder. And now you're Mark Schmidt, who is a great coach.
Great guy.
X's and O's guys.
Yeah.
Who are you preparing for?
I think you're probably trying to take away Djokovic because it seems to me that's been a steadying presence for this team when they're struggling offensively to play through him in the post a little bit. And I think teams are obviously Terrence Hill and his outside shooting is on the scouting report for everyone right now and trying to run him off the 3-point line. And I think Nick Lewis, too, is getting to the point where, he ain't taking anybody by surprise. Yeah, sure, he's a freshman. He's not one of the best freshmen in the A-10. He's one of the best freshmen in the country, I think.
Right.
And so that's the top of your scouting report. But to your point...
So you got those 3. That's fair. I mean, that's smart. That's what I would probably do. You don't mention Barry Evans. You don't think Barry's going to be unbelievably fired up?
Jadrian Tracy, the most experienced guy on this team.
Yeah, who's also hit, he's like at 21 or 22 threes right now. I think he is only behind Terrence Hill and made 3-pointers.
Jadrian Tracy, 4 or 5 from 3 tonight. Really efficient, 12 points.
He's like at 23 or 24 in the season. Terrence is, I think, around 30. He might be 28 or 30.
And they're all trying to catch Michael Bell in the percentage right now.
Well, I mean, Michael's hit his last 5.
Yeah. What did he say? He was 8 of 14 coming into this game, and he hit his only one tonight.
He's 9
of 15 for the season.
He had 2 last year. He had 2 threes last year. He had 2 total.
Is that like 70%?
All games.
Is that like 70%? Is my math right? That's almost 70% from 3.
So I think we're a difficult scout, man. I really do. And I think that's going to prove to be our secret sauce all year long. Now, the flip side of that is okay, that's great.
Who's the guy?
Or the mindset down the stretch. in those under 3-minute situations.
New Mexico. Yep.
New Mexico. I mean, there's been a couple of them.
Utah State.
Yeah.
Yep.
And NC State was also there too. So, again, I think that's why this team continues to be has a high ceiling, because you solve that riddle, and that's hard. I mean, that's because you have other teams that they also are, they're also doing things to keep you from doing that. You solve that riddle with what is going to happen, and I think this team is going to be a load in the A-10.
Do you know what I loved tonight was guys diving at loose balls?
Still.
There was a lot of that
This team
tonight.
plays hard.
And they played the hardest tonight. Compared to Niagara, there was that edge of intensity that I think maybe they didn't have the other night.
They did. They were a different ball club tonight than they were against Niagara. And I think the coaches are doing a wonderful job in getting them motivated and in tune no matter who the opponent is. And they'll have another one on Monday. Ryder, if you look at their net ranking, isn't anything that's going to skyrocket off the page, but you want to finish strong, and I think they want to do that. How about this?
And like we talked about earlier, you got to play a full 40 minutes, and you need to win that game to help your metrics by 40.
Yeah.
Right? With where Ryder is, that matters. You can't win that game by 20. That's going to hurt you a lot.
Which is ridiculous.
It is.
Which is ridiculous.
It
just
is.
absolutely ridiculous, but that's the world we live in college basketball. So you remember a couple years ago when Odom was just gloriously praised by quoting Grateful Dead
Yeah, that was
in the
fun.
post-game show?
Yeah.
Martelli today quotes Michael Scott
Yeah.
from The Office.
Well, did he say I'm not superstitious? I'm just a little stitious?
Did he use that in the?
He used it in the post-game presser after Niagara because we all dressed up, me and the VCU student media, in suits for New Mexico. And in that post-game presser, he was like, "Damn, I'm sorry we lost and we ruined the vibe for y'all. So y'all dressed up." And so then we all dressed down a little bit. And it was much more casual for Niagara. And he was like, "I guess y'all got to keep doing it." So that's why I'm wearing a sweater and jeans tonight.
He was a little bit dressed down Thursday.
And Robbie, I'm going to give a preview. We made jokes about it in the post-game presser. I think I might wear a Christmas pajamas onesie to the game on Monday.
Zach, it's a strong move.
It's a strong move. Am I going to be embarrassed in this place? Am I going to get in trouble?
You're going to be the only one wearing it.
It's a Christmas game.
We are giving away, I think the first 300 or 400 fans get a Christmas sweater, ugly sweater
Really?
t-shirt.
I could at least wear an ugly sweater or something
I
like
would
that.
probably,
Yeah.
if you really off the air wanted my opinion, I'd say do the ugly sweater and not necessarily the onesie. I think ugly sweater gets their onesie. I think coaches like John Chaney and they have worn ugly sweaters. I can't imagine Rick Pitino coming out in a onesie. But again, I'm going to be down here with you. I think I'm doing that game on TV.
Oh, you are?
So I'm going
You're
to be
calling
down
it?
here.
Let's go.
Yeah. So I'll be down here with you.
Who are you going to be with? Chef Nick's?
I think I'll be with the
Let's
chef.
go.
Yeah.
That's a great duo.
I'm excited about that.
Can you give us your call of the Lazar Djokovic?
Oh,
dunk
posterizing dunk. Djokovic posterizes and then drives it home. It was that. But I'll ask you this. Better highlight. You're in the Sports Center top 10 plays room with all the stuff, and you have one to choose. Do you use Djokovic or do you use the lob?
Dude,
what are you taking?
I maybe the lob, because Ahmad threw it from half court. I thought the lob was even more impressive than the dunk was on that play.
Chris, when was the last time we had a lob from half court? I don't remember one in a while. Yeah, you don't have that in the game notes. I do not remember a lob like that from half court. So
Jordan Tillery, speaking of which, just continues to, his energy is so infectious.
So, our fellow media member in Richmond, Adam Epstein, AWOD, to those that know him well, Jordan Tillery reminds him of Rob Brandenburg.
I love that comp.
I thought that was a great comparison.
Do you know what I thought of? And I said this earlier and before the game today.
Right.
There's a little Doug Brooks energy there. Does that where he plays with his hair on fire a little bit? I know Doug is his own guy. I don't know if you can really compare anyone to him.
It's hard to until he breaks it. Kowalczyk, so much Rob Brandenburg and Jordan Tillery. I agree. Stocky and comes in, and it's not the most beautiful, but he's super athletic, will do crazy things and then step out and hit a three. Yeah, I'm with you. I like that. If Chris says it. Yeah, the final thought today. I don't know. Did you see in the notes about, they said, so in their notes, they said this is the 35th meeting between the two schools.
TJ and I were trying to figure that out.
Most of the wins were between
they
1926.
said 18 to 16 American edge in the series?
In the series, this is the 35th game, and American owns the series lead 18 to 16, but most of the American wins came between 1926 and 1935. I feel like I'm a pretty decent historian with VCU basketball. Where did they get them? Where were we playing?
What was RPI's first year?
I don't know, but did they have a basketball team?
But I don't think,
I don't know if any RPI. I mean, I know they have a couple of guys, I guess, maybe, but I don't feel like it was an RPI, and you don't count that. So this is the 15th game, and we just won our 12th.
Yeah.
12-3.
12-3 VCU.
Most of the wins between 1926 and 1938 when we were RP. Yeah,
aren't they supposed to be smart?
I don't think so. It's a
good academic institution,
Aldridge
right?
Goes there and went there, and he's a big media guy, and I would think he would make that correction in the game notes. So, all right, I'm going to take off. I know you
Robby,
probably think.
you're the best, my friend.
All right, we'll see you on Monday.
See you Monday. Thank you for coming on, man. Robby's the best. Oh, Phil shouted out your calls, the compilation of calls from the catwalk.
He's so nice.
The other day too. He said that Megan, his wife,
she's excited about getting it.
Watched it a bunch of times. That was the sweetest thing.
It's really nice.
Great family. I think we've said it most all, guys. But that Lazar Djokovic play stood out to me because he said it in the post-game presser. He's starting to get the lift back a little bit after that ankle injury that he was fighting for a few weeks. I think he turned the same one twice. So that was a good indicator that he's healthy. Because that dunk was awesome. I put out the that man has a family tweet. Godzilla Slamma Jamma Serbian baptism. I don't know. I was trying to get creative there. That was a very fun play. He had 15 points. Adrian Tracy, 12. Brandon Jennings, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Just one of those vintage all-around Brandon Jennings performances. He's such a Swiss Army knife. Nick Lewis, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, 20 over plus minus. His distribution was great tonight. And touching on it real quick because we're already on 12 minutes here, but VCU 48-20 edge in points in the paint. That was the biggest positive for me from this game because Niagara outscored VCU 32-20 in the paint. Now VCU shot it really well, and Niagara packed the paint defensively and dared them to shoot it from outside. And American is very different schematically. They help aggressively on those drives. But the drive and kicks for VCU all night were outstanding. The distribution was great, 21 assists on 38 made baskets. Nick Lewis, again, one of the best freshmen in the country right now. I think he's growing up so fast before our eyes. VCU 23-9 edge in second chance points, 43-26 rebounding advantage, 21-8 in fast break points, 48-16 in bench points. And like Robby said, I mean, a few guys, Barry Evans had a good game, 6 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks. He had a chase down block. That was, I had blocked by James going on in the back of my mind. And that led to the Djokovic dunk on the other end. Michael Bell, 7 points, team high 8 rebounds. I think Phil said, I don't know if there's anyone in the country that can box that guy out when he's got his mind to crash in the glass. Keyshawn Mitchell, 7 points, 3 of 5 from the field. I thought he was solid. He was kind of in that, what I think of as the Christian Furman position, just on the baseline, available for a dump off after a guard drives and draws help. And Keyshawn had a few of those finishes, so a strong game for him. And we talked about Jordan Tillery, 7 points, 4 rebounds, and just 13-29, 3 of 5 from the field. His energy continues to be infectious. And Ahmad Noel played only 8:02, 8 points, and an assist, which was the lob from half court for the Tillery dunk, which was awesome. And Jordan Dumont got a bucket as well. Came on at the very end, hit a fadeaway mid-range J from that elbow right over there, which is good to see him get a bucket. VCU led by as much as 26 for 37-40. And Phil got teed up as well, which we haven't talked about really, I don't think. Arguing there late because VCU got a tad complacent for a second. They were up 19. And, that margin of victory was starting to slip a little bit. And Phil said that he felt like they needed a jolt of energy. And it was as much about that and sending a message to his team as it was the call. And JJ and Tracy, who everyone calls Bam, in the post-game presser talked about that. It's we heard the message loud and clear because we can't take our foot off the gas late in these games. So VCU 105, American 83, Rams to 8-4, Eagles to 7-5. I think both teams came into this game 7-4. That's a decent American team. They're in the 200s. They should do well in the Patriot League, and so that could look like a pretty good win at the end of the year. I think perhaps VCU's most complete performance of the season, and after kind of the cloud that hung over Niagara, as an aftershock a little bit of the New Mexico loss, this felt like the game they needed. And I thought was a really strong performance and gives you some good momentum heading into Ryder on Monday, which should be a game that you win by a wide margin. You need to win by a wide margin. It's a very bad Ryder team. And so I don't know what the line will be for that game. I think it'll be in the 30s. So if VCU can continue the momentum into there, then it sets up for an early stretch of non-conference play that has the potential to be season-defining. You never want to say make or break, but you get SLU here, which is going to be a phenomenal atmosphere. And after Bonaventure on New Year's Eve, which is going to be great too. And then you're at George Mason and at Duquesne in there. And so a huge stretch for the Rams coming up in conference play. And Phil Martelli said they need to keep their foot on the gas going into conference play. And that all ends on that note. I know that it's Christmas break right now. You know, exams are over and everything. Students are home. It's a Thursday night around the holidays. They say 7,637, which is a sellout at this game. There were a lot of empty seats. And as far as atmospheres at the Siegel Center go, you know, it was nowhere near as good as this place can get. I saw George Templeton of Rams Rewind tweeting about it before the game. And, you know, Phil Martelli says they need the fans, just like the team, to put their foot on the gas and get that energy going, even for the Rider game on Monday, going into conference play. So we'll see if the atmosphere can be a little better on Monday before VCU gets a little bit of a break around Christmas and guys go home for a couple of days before that big game on New Year's Eve against St. Bonaventure. I'm Zach Joachim. This is On the Horn. Y'all rock. Rams 105, American 83. I'll see you on Monday against Rider, guys. Should I wear the pajama onesie? I might.